In today's episode of Relax and Rewatch, we will be taking a close look at Friends Season 1, Episode 8, called The One Where Nana Dies Twice. This episode originally aired on November 10th, 1994. It was written by Marta Kauffman and David Greene, and directed by James Burrows. The main plot for this episode goes like this. Monica and Ross mourn the death of their grandmother, with a little help from the gang. Monica and her mom come to an unspoken understanding about the relationship between mothers and daughters. Meanwhile, Chandler is irritated by office speculation that he is gay. The episode opens up with an exterior shot of Chandler's assumed workplace. This is actually the Solo building in New York. Today, its tenants are mainly law firms and hedge funds. We see Chandler on his lunch break in the lunchroom. He is approached by a woman asking if he is single and looking to date. Apparently, she wants to set him up with someone. Chandler, of course, is very excited about this until he finds out she is planning to set him up with another man. The lady is completely embarrassed and totally sorry for assuming Chandler is gay. This sweet lady was played by Nancy Casero. After the opening credits, we are at the apartment with the whole gang, and they are having noodles for supper, including Chandler, even though earlier in the day in the office he made it sound like he doesn't really like the noodles. But what's worse than having the same old dry noodles for supper again is finding out that all your girlfriends, upon meeting you, thought that you were gay. And Chandler has a huge problem with this. He can't believe it. Next we see Rachel receiving a phone call from Paolo from Rome. And with this phone call, I guess we just established that their relationship is still on. Another phone call comes in, and that phone call is for Monica. She gets a call and finds out that Nana, her and Ross's Nana, is in the hospital, and I guess not doing that well. After being informed about Nana's condition, Ross and Monica, of course, rush to the hospital right away. There they are greeted by their parents. Ross and Monica's parents were played by Elliot Gould and Christina Pickles. That's a fun last name. And even in this moment of sadness and grief, Monica's mom, Judy, finds energy and time to bully her once again about her looks. It's insane! Funny little tidbit I got when watching this. In the next scene, all four of them, Monica, Ross, and their parents, sit in a waiting room, and Monica and her mom, Judy, sit in the exact same position next to each other, and Ross and Dad also sit in the exact same position. Next we see this fun little back and forth action from where this episode actually derives its name from, about Nana dying twice. They go in and think she's dead, but then seems like she's not dead after all. A nurse comes in, says, "Oh, this almost never happens," and then she's dead again. Next we're at the Central Perk Cafe, and Chandler is still obsessed with the assumed homosexuality. Now we are back at Chandler's place of work. Well, he finds out that the guy he was going to be set up with is not that good looking, and he's kind of disappointed. And he even says, he's no Brian from Payroll. Now Ross is helping his mother and his aunt choose the outfit that his grandmother will be buried in. He climbs into the closet and goes through all her stuff, choosing the outfit and laying them out for his mother and aunt to choose from. It's crazy though, that closet. How would that old lady have been able to use that closet? Take her clothes and shoes out of there? Seems like there's a lot of stuff above and behind that huge dresser that is basically blocking the whole closet. Now Ross opens something up in the closet, and suddenly a huge amount of sweet and low sweeteners start raining down on him, really. This somehow really reminds him of his grandmother, and it makes him really emotional. Next we are at Nana's funeral, and this is pretty much the premise of what goes on in there. Joey has a radio. He's listening on in a game. Ross falls in a grave, which is everybody's nightmare. Rachel is wearing her brand new shoes. She got sent from Italy, of course, from Paolo. And she steps in mud. After the funeral, we see the exterior shot of Monica and Ross's parents' house. We actually see this house again in a later season, in an episode where Rachel and Ross stay at the parents' house. That episode is called The One Where Joey Speaks French. But we will get to that episode later. Ross is actually laying on the floor with Phoebe helping him and looking for muscle strains. By this time in the show, we have not established Phoebe's profession yet, but this scene already suggests that she is a masseuse, because she seems to know something about human physiology. Mom Judy Geller gives Ross some pills, I guess, muscle relaxants, and they make him really loopy. While Chandler is trying to flirt with a woman at the funeral, Ross comes over all loopy and ruins it for him, saying, "If you want to be gay, or something like that. And of course the woman walks away, saying to her friend, "See, I knew he was gay." Now this loopy Ross works his way to Rachel, saying he loves her. And of course Rachel doesn't take him seriously because she knows he has just taken some drugs. Frustrated Ross collapses in wine-drinking Rachel's lap and moans, "Oh, you don't get it." All the other men gather around Joey to listen in on the game too. Meanwhile, Monica is having a heart-to-heart moment with her mom on a couch. Judy complains how Nana would not have been happy with this funeral because she was always criticizing and never happy with anything. Now Monica kinda holds a mirror to Judy, and it makes Judy realize that maybe she is too critical of her own daughter. We'll see if this moment between them prompts any change in the future episodes. I really hope so. It's so sad to see her bully her own daughter like that. Next we see all the friends together at Central Perk. They are looking at old pictures, presumably found in Nana's old house. It sounds like they are looking at Ross and Monica's childhood photos. They also find a picture of Nana with her group of friends at a cafe. Very similar to the setting these guys like to gather in. This is quite obvious, so they all look at each other and smile. It's a sweet little moment. We end this episode in the same place it started. So this is Chandler's workplace again at the break room. In walks Lowell, who is the guy he was going to be set up with, and Lowell tells Chandler, "Oh, I knew you weren't gay." Lowell was played by Stuart Fratkin. In the very last frame for this episode, we see the famous Brian from Payroll walking in. He was played by David Sobel. This ending scene is probably the funniest of this episode, because all in all, I have to admit, this episode is probably my least favorite so far that I watched. I'm not sure why they decided to make such a dark themed episode so early on in the season. It didn't really add anything to the storyline. We did meet Judy and Jack Geller, but besides that, it didn't really establish anything else or add to any storylines, like I said. Style and fashion-wise, I would say I really like Phoebe's hair in this episode. I also noticed she was the only one not wearing a black jacket at the funeral. I was wondering if that has something to do with her more easygoing or relaxed attitude about life, and death for that matter. I also really like the sunglasses they were all wearing at the funeral. Very 2024. Likewise, Monica's outfit at the first part of the episode was really cool, and I would personally wear that in 2024, and I think many other people would too. That cute little two-piece outfit she had in the beginning. Well, I guess that's all for The One Where Nana Dies Twice. The next episode will be about Season 1, Episode 9, and that episode will be called The One Where the Underdog Gets Away. I will see you then. Bye.